On this episode of Content Sessions, we're talking to Mike Desepoli about Heritage Financial Advisory Group. Mouthful, but thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Awesome, man. Tell me about your business.
So we're in the financial industry. I'm a financial advisor by trade. We help people manage, preserve, and grow their wealth. We focus on working with individuals, businesses, and successful families. So we predominantly help people manage investments and design financial plans that map to their lifestyle.
Got it. Very cool. And where are you guys operating out of?
So we're located in New York, out on Long Island. We're in Port Jefferson.
Awesome. And how long ago did the business start up?
So the business dates back to 1987. Actually, my father is the principal founder of the firm. We've grown and evolved in many ways since then in several locations to where we currently, in addition to the Port Jefferson location I mentioned, we're also in Manhattan. So it's a long history. We got family in the business, and it's really been an exciting ride.
That's awesome. And so to this date, it's still fully family owned and operated?
We have a mixture on the team of both family and non-family members as we've grown. There's only so many family members that we could pull into the business. So,
Sure.
We got to go outside and get some talented people to join us.
Got it. Yeah, the ones that are bad at math are out. So.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't add and you can't subtract, it's not going to work.
Fair enough. And so do you work, you said you work with people and businesses, kind of everything in between.
Sure.
Tell me, just kind of give the audience a little bit more about what exactly that means for those who are not super familiar with that industry as a whole.
Sure. So, when you really boil it down into a simple kind of example, it's like it comes down to two main things that clients seek our help for. Either A, they're successful, they've accumulated assets, they want to invest those assets and design their life around this money, but they just don't know how to get started. Or they've had some, experience with the market, financial markets in the past. They've realized it's not something they're good at, so they want to hire a professional to do that. On the other side of it is people in the accumulation phase, right? They haven't hit that pinnacle of success yet. They're working, they're earning, they're growing their family, and they want to make sure they're doing the right things and smart things with their money through time so that when they do get to their golden years, it's everything that they imagined it to be. So we help people in those phases of life, right? Planning for retirement. We also help them in family transitions, families that have succeeded, looking to set up their kids, their grandkids, and make sure that their money doesn't go to waste. And then on the business side of things, we advise businesses on being smart with their money, how to manage cash flow, investing their assets for the business as well. So really what it comes down to is two things, is investing and planning. And we think there's a great marriage between those two because you really should be doing one without the other.
Fair enough. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah. And I mean, I think one of the interesting things, I took a look at some of the content that you guys have been putting out, and you're big on the education side. I know there's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misunderstanding about how different products work, different insurance products, different investment products. And so you guys are really big on the education side, which I think is a great thing. So to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. We find that one of the biggest barriers to people taking the necessary steps to secure their financial well-being is lack of education. All right. And when you think about the grade school system, you go through 12, 13 years of schooling, and there's really not much time spent on how to deal with money. We do basic math, we might do a little light economics, but they really don't prepare you for when you get out of college, you get that great job, and you start having some good cash flow, how to manage it and how to be responsible. So we find that that's a barrier where if people don't understand something, they just won't pursue it. They don't want to ask a question and be deemed it was a silly question, right? So nobody wants to be embarrassed. So we find that by looking around the landscape of the industry, there really wasn't much of resources for people just getting started. The industry caters to people with wealth, right? Those are the ideal clients stereotypically. So when you think about that type of a business model, it's almost like a doctor's office that only caters to healthy people. And we said, well, the people that need the most help, the ones that need the advice, are the ones that can't get it. So we can't serve all people, but we decided to create Ask the Advisor, which is basically a financial education arm powered by Heritage. And we use that just to put out what we think is timely content, kind of basics of investing, simple mistakes not to make. We keep our content short and sweet. It's a YouTube-based, Facebook video-based format. So 5 to 7 minutes max. We find that it's really got good traction because people will reach out, inquire, and say, you know what, I was curious about how that worked, but I didn't know who to ask. And one at a time, if we can inspire people to at least just take one step forward towards, getting involved in financial literacy, or as online it's referred to as FinLit, it's definitely going to make us more healthy financially as a whole.
Absolutely. And when did you guys start producing content for that program? Or did you were you making stuff and then it kind of evolved into a product almost?
Yeah, it kind of happened by accident, where like we had started to do some individual videos in the office, and I think the first one, Ask the Advisor, or number one, was like why you should hire a financial advisor. And I laid out a couple of reasons why the benefits were and the misconceptions. And then I think we took some time off and we did another video, and then we stopped. And then we had posted one or two of them on Facebook, and the feedback was great. People were like, we would like to see more of this. So we kind of thought about it, and we came up with the name Ask the Advisor. And I was lucky enough to be able to secure that website, asktheadvisor.com, right off the bat, which is kind of odd it was available. But,
yeah, surprising.
Yeah, it was great. And so then we started to do a series, one a week, put out a video, try to take simple financial topics. We're not getting too much in the weeds where it's disinteresting to people, and it's grown, and we're up to, I think we've done 133 episodes now, or we're working on 133. We've done 132. And then it's evolved into other content platforms. So people like the video, but they say, hey, I'm driving in the car, I can't watch it. So then we started converting over to audio. So we have podcast equivalent to the videos that we produce.
Yeah, I love that. Man, I'll tell you, like the amount of people that I talk to that own all different businesses under the sun. Well, I don't have time to make this. I don't have time to do that. I mean, I can already predict how much positive impact that's had on just lead generation, brand awareness, and all that for you. So how do you guys systematize it for people that are kind of like, you know what, this would be a cool idea for us? How do you guys kind of make it work?
So I find that obviously like the content is king, right? If you're not talking about topics that people care about, no one's going to watch anyway. The platforms that we utilize and we put stuff out on, you got to really know what your game plan is going to be. Like, what am I going to talk about? Is it something repeatable? So, for me, I love talking finance. We'll talk money all day. So I'm not worried like a week from now, what's the next topic going to be, the next one and the next one. And then, of course, looking around current events, you can grab something out of the news and turn that into content. So that was like our first thing, is what are we going to talk about? And then it was, how are we going to distribute? The social media platforms can be tough to get the reach that you want. We weren't doing a big paid advertising or paid media push. We were just doing organic stuff, putting it on Facebook, putting it on YouTube, and then trying to do a little bit of a cross promotion where, tell people, hey, check this out, and sharing it on our own personal pages. So yeah, there was a lot of like kind of start and stop and like trial and error stuff. I mean, if you look at our videos from episode 1 through 132, you'll see changes in like lighting, location, like the things that were going on. We got a microphone after about 40 episodes. Yeah. So, I mean, you run a big podcast here, so all the things you've probably gone through to get to this point. And so yeah, that was our approach, just kind of just try it out, do some interesting stuff, topics. Let's see what the public has to say. And it's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that strikes me, and the podcast listeners are going to hate me because I do suggest this to a lot of people, but it's such an effective thing right now. We're using it. A lot of the companies we do advertising for are using it. YouTube ads for some of your key videos. So the thing I like about YouTube is it's very cost effective. Even if you just put it out to people based on a general interest set, that's one avenue. You can get a video view for 2 or 3 cents. But one thing that's really worked well for us is, especially on like your key pieces of content, you don't want to do this, maybe not necessarily for every single one, but ones that would be people that potentially could be leads into the business would get value from these pieces, right? Yeah. So advertising it on YouTube, but you do it based on Google search. Okay. So I go on Google and I search for how to do something. How does this work? How does this type of account work? How does this type of insurance product work? And if you have an episode that's about that, you're not necessarily buying the Google ad. Okay. But the next time that person goes on YouTube, your video that talks about that topic would show up to the person because they searched it on Google.
Oh, no kidding.
So instead of spending, $3 to $5 for a click on Google, which might not be, you might not make that money back. Right. you need a certain amount of clicks. But yeah, having that person pay 2 cents for that person to see your video the next time they go on YouTube has been really powerful for us.
Oh, no kidding.
You know, one thing that we've seen is our podcasts are about between 40 minutes to an hour on average. And so they're always called marketing ideas for this or that, or and so when people Google search it, that's how our videos come up.
Oh, no
and
kidding. Okay.
and our average watch time over the last 40,000 views is something around 20 minutes on YouTube.
That's impressive.
Which is really, really strong, because you're really giving them exactly what they were asking for, just in a bit of a different place. So I think for some of your key videos, that might be an interesting product to play around with.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something I'll look into. I wasn't aware of all of the capabilities.
Yeah, and what I like about it is, you know, your call to action afterwards is like, hey, do you want to talk to someone about this? And then it could be, you know, schedule a 5-minute call or 10-minute call. Would you say that, you know, so it's you and how many people work inside of the firm? How many people?
So we have 7 people in our office, and then we work with other partnerships outside for research, analytics, and stuff like that. But I have 7 team members.
Got it. And so would you say that the people that are becoming your clients are typically going to be, are they going to be kind of all over, some more established, some kind of younger, growing?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a pretty diverse client base. You know, we have certain guidelines in place for our company of what an ideal client is for us.
Yeah.
Situation, asset level, stuff like that. Not because we want to be selective, but just because we want to be able to provide the most value, and we know the subset of people that we can do that with. And I find it interesting what you said about how you can game Google a little bit, because one of the things I wanted to mention to you was what we did that was really great for our parent company was we were able to secure the website financialadvisorny.com. We did a lot of looking into what people were searching and Googling. And when they would come in the office, you know, just curious, like, how'd you find this? Oh, I found you on Google. Well, what did you search? I searched financial advisor New York or financial advisor Long Island.
Yeah.
So we were able to grab that URL and convert our site over to that. And that actually was something that was very impactful for us being more relevant in search.
Amazing. Yeah. And it's funny, actually, it's impressive that it was able to rank up. Sometimes having the great domain doesn't always equal that same thing, but that's really cool. Yeah. It's, I could see that's a really premium keyword too, I bet. If you were paying for it, it would be pretty damn expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, you know what? It's done good things for us. I don't understand all the mechanics and you know, I'm not, you know, the marketing genius by any means, but yeah, it's worked pretty well.
Got it. Yeah. So, I mean, I absolutely love the idea. I think that type of content, answering those questions and even helping vet in a way the people that could get in contact with you is really smart. Do you have any idea like where you want to go with it? Like, is it, so you're, you know, 133 episodes, which is no small feat.
Sure.
Do you have a sense of where you want to take it?
You know, we've really given a lot of thought to this, and like, you know, there's other people doing similar things that turn it into like a subscription model, or you pay X dollars a month and you can have access to this content. That's never really been a thought of ours. You know, I like money as much as the next guy, but we've never really thought of it as something to monetize. I also think when we started it, we didn't think of it as something that would be 133 episodes deep at this point. But it's been fun to do, and it has created a lot of awareness. So, you know, we're always thinking about what goes next. Maybe we can, you know, have some sort of a collaboration with a company that has a bigger reach. Because at the end of the day, it's topics that could help a lot of people. And, you know, the challenges, as you know, as working in marketing, is like, how do you get that reach and how do you get that word out there? So,
for sure.
You know, so yeah, I really don't have like an end game, an end goal with this. I'd like to grow the community of it, you know, much larger than it is right now.
Yeah. Have you thought about have you thought about trying to get people into like an email list or some like a Facebook group based on, hey, we're going to go live every Monday on Facebook and we'll answer your questions and those types of ideas?
Well, so we have started to capture some data, some emails. Like what we have is a section on our website for that website where people can ask questions that we'll answer. So some of the topics that we're using in the show are coming from folks. So obviously we get that contact data, we enter it into an email list. And then the same part is there's an area where they could sign up if they want to receive additional resources. So we've had a lot of people, you know, hit up that part of our website, and we've accumulated names there. I try not to add anybody to that distribution list that didn't ask to be there.
Sure.
I know I can go out and grab 5,000 names somewhere on the internet, but that's just not really what our intent is. So,
well, and the laws are cracked. The laws are getting tighter and tighter on that. In Canada and in the UK, you'd be done.
Really?
A $5,000 fine per email.
No kidding.
If you don't have proof of them opting into it, yeah, you can get destroyed. It's a little bit looser in the US, but I have a feeling it's going to crack down eventually.
I'm sure we're headed in the same direction,
Yeah.
But so we've grown it just by people signing up or conversations we've had, people I know locally. Hey, I love the show. I say, we'd love to add you to our email list and, visit our website and get on there. So
yeah,
that's helped us with reach.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I think so one of the strong things with the email list is just like every time you've got somebody that follows you on Facebook or on Instagram or on different platforms, the reach that you get now is kind of slowly dwindling. We do marketing for a hip hop artist who's got like, I think he's about 4.6 million on Facebook.
Wow.
And like less than 5% of those total followers see his posts.
Really?
Awful. And
Wow.
so now we're like, wait, we don't need this to keep growing. It actually doesn't help. We'd have to grow it so fast to combat this. So yeah, I really like email, especially, if you decide to host some event or host some, which is actually kind of brings me to my next kind of idea for you. I'm hosting an event. There's a platform called Hey Summit. Mm-hmm. It's a website that allows you to host online conferences. So you have a portal for all of your speakers. They can upload their own content, upload their profile, and then it has a portal for attendees. So anybody that wants to come in and learn about it, and then you can host them like a webinar style, like they can pop up live, or they can be pre-recorded content. I really like that idea for you, especially if you said, hey, we're going to interview 10 leading people in the industry. And then kind of what I'm doing is I'm capturing the interview similar to this, but it's more like I'm lobbing up questions for them to answer. It's not so much getting my attention in it. But I'm packaging up a thing that's called Build Your Personal Brand Using LinkedIn. So I'm bringing, I've got 10 CEOs that have a bit of an influence on LinkedIn talking about their strategies and how they're thinking about it. And now I'm getting a lot of traction from people like, oh, I want to learn about this. I'm going to opt into this conference. I'm not charging for it. I'm not making any money, but it is helping build our list in a way as well.
Right.
And then the thing I really like about it is all that content that you capture. So you strategically say, these are the 10 topics. These are the 10 experts we're going to speak to. You do the interviews online. The thing I like about it is that package, that website, that whole conference website can stay up online for more people to discover.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's big.
Yeah, it's cool. So the way I'm thinking about it is I might only get 1,000 people that sign up for the conference now, but if that website lives on and we kind of just continue lightly promoting it, hey, do you need to know how to use LinkedIn for your personal brand? Boom, we have this online course almost asset. And then it's kind of it's structured in one place, which I like. And I've been testing. I haven't started officially using it yet, but things like Teachable.
Okay, sure.
Where it's like you can create almost like courses, which is very similar to what you're doing. But if you had a structure like how to deal with this particular topic, and then there was like 8 kind of parts to it.
Right.
I'm thinking about doing it with like mini courses. Like it's a 1-hour course and you learn all about this thing, and people can opt in, or you can potentially sell it, or you can potentially not. The platforms I'm talking about are like reasonably priced. Yeah. To me, they're a reasonable price to pay for them and not monetize, because I just think it helps accelerate like the people that are like, oh, I don't know about a podcast. I'm not a YouTube guy. But if you had something where it's like, it's basically the same content, but just kind of packaging it up into a course and having people opt into that on like Udemy, you can host it. There's a bunch of places.
And as you said, Teachables was the last one you mentioned?
Yeah, Teachable is like, it does everything. So it hosts. So I think it's like $30 a month. And you can put unlimited courses on it and have unlimited students. And if you monetize it, they take some kind of they take like 5% if you ever sell the course. But you could host the courses for free and make almost like this course is on picking credit cards, this course is on interest rates, this course is on whatever. And you could actually record them as longer form with like modules and with like PDFs and stuff. Like if you needed like worksheets or how to write out your budget or how to do this,
Right.
so you can have those assets included in those course areas.
Oh, that's great.
And that might be kind of that might kind of be that next level for you guys. And you probably have most of the content already. It's just it's just parsing it out. But
no, we've been looking for, an avenue like that to be able to get it out there, more awareness.
Yeah, sure. I've played with a couple different ones. I think Teachable, I mean, even though they're the most widely recognized, I just feel like everything about it is just so damn easy to use. So
yeah, no, it sounds great.
I'm not a super techie guy. Like I like playing with different programs and stuff, but I don't know that much. And that's like one of those things you can just plug and play.
Oh, great. I'm going to check that out. Sure. Thank you.
So one thing, now I'm going to get greedy for the audience's sake. One thing, and I was kind of asking you about how the whole content production thing started up. I know there's a ton of people in their own niche, in their own industry who, have a full-time business and they're running it all the time. How have you guys, what are some tips or what are some ideas that you have for people to be able to start taking something on to kind of get that ball rolling? Because it seems like you guys have some secret sauce there at 130 episodes of a show. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd recommend?
I think initially, like we found that we just have to realize that the task was actually, we were making it, kind of making a mountain out of a molehill, if you will. Like sitting down in front of the camera and running something for 5 to 7 minutes, like is not that time consuming unless it takes you 20 takes to do it.
Right.
And we decided that we're going to be imperfect with it, right? We're going to use just how it comes out and, light editing. I mean, by no means, like I do the video editing myself. I have a very basic program. I'm just clipping off the beginning and the end and adding a little bit of music to it. So we found that we don't want to let it be a barrier time. We schedule the same amount of time every week. So a block of time that we're going to record and edit. So this way it doesn't get lost in the schedule where you're just too busy, or some people maybe have more time at night. We find that in the later afternoon and evening, one day a week is the best time for us to do it. There's less client activity. There's less people calling the office. So, but yeah, I think we probably put about an hour into all that each week and preparing the show. With the financial industry, we have a compliance process we have to submit to. So everything that you hear me talk about has to go through the proper channels to be approved before I put it up online.
Understood.
There's certain rules and restrictions we have about, different things we could talk about and what we can't. So we make sure we play by the rules as far as that's concerned. But so my advice would be don't make it more than what it is. Just start out, in the beginning, you're going to record or whatever you decide to do. It's not going to be great. You look through our videos, episode 1 is pathetic compared to episode 132. And we're still learning. We're still getting better. So just do it. I had apprehension about doing it before we started. Do I want to be in front of the camera? Am I comfortable doing this? But it's been a great decision and we're really happy we did it.
Got it. That makes total sense. From the YouTube side, there's just something that kind of popped into my head as well. I'm actually just to take a look for the name of it, actually. It's a tool I've been using on YouTube to help get my videos out in front of more people.
Mm-hmm.
It is called, what's it called? It's called Tube Buddy, TUBE Buddy.
Tube Buddy.
Like a short form for YouTube.
Sure.
The thing I really like about it is if you've got other people whose videos, so someone searches for something on YouTube and they're looking some stuff up, you see your videos where you see them, and then there's going to be the people that have that spot ahead.
Sure.
What it allows you to do is it allows you to click into that person's video and it shows you all the tags they're using. It shows you, like, it kind of lets you behind the scenes to see what they're kind of doing to help themselves rank.
That's incredible.
Some of the keywords and stuff like that. I think it's a pretty cheap, I think it's maybe like $5 a month, or maybe it's like $30 for a year. It's pretty reasonable. So what I do is I look at whoever's competing with me in that space.
Right.
I can see the different tags. I can see the categories. I can see even some of the, like, oh, they've linked to this, or they've done this, or they've done that. And then I just go back and I just leverage everything that they're doing.
Do the same stuff to you, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
no, that's great. That's awesome.
Ranking. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think I think we covered a lot of ground actually really fast.
I'm very direct and to the point. We know what we want to do, and we know how we want to get there. So
I love it, man. Well, look, why don't you tell everyone where they can find kind of the corporate business as well
sure.
as the content business.
Sure, thank you. So our Heritage Financial, you can find us on the web, www.financialadvisorny.com. And then the content arm, our financial literacy efforts, you can find it asktheadvisor.com.
Got it. And then that page links out to all the social.
Exactly. We have all the social media links. We're on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We have a blog. We have a podcast, which distributes through Anchor, and then to the other platforms and whatnot. So everything's linked out from those main sites.
Awesome. Great. And I'll link it up in the show notes as well. Well, it was an absolute pleasure. It's cool to hear about that journey. I mean, I think you guys are just on to something awesome that a lot of companies should be doing, but a lot of people are, for whatever reason, are not. So I think you guys are in a really good spot with it.
Oh, thank you very much, and appreciate you having us on and giving an opportunity to chat about it.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you.